What is up, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now we're back with the Detroit Tigers franchise mode here on MLB The Show 18. So Season 1 is in the books. We went 62-100. We were not good. This roster sucks. By the way, Miguel Cabrera is like an 82. It's just the game put him in the minors because he got hurt at the end of the year. So that's really the only reason why. But this team sucks. This team really does suck. We do have many talented prospects. Faedo. If you count Franklin Perez as a prospect still, which I kind of doubt. Bobby Bradley. Matt Manning. Fernando Tatis. Alejandro Alonso, the #1 overall pick, will be joining the roster too. I don't think he's on the roster yet, no. But he will. So this is the off-season episode. Usually I stream the off-season, but I just don't really feel like streaming it. So, you have 5 days to negotiate contracts, I guess, on your team, or give qualifying. Already, retired players, there are 3. The first one is Jim Adducci. He tore his Achilles. Not a big loss. He was just in our minor league. Chad Huffman, because of ability. He doesn't look very good, and he's also a minor league player. The last one is Pete Kozma. He was an okay player in the majors. Actually, not really. He only had 143 hits and hit 215, but I knew who he was before the series, so I guess that's a good sign. So none of these guys are really big losses. Other notable players: CC Sabathia, James Shields, Rajay Davis, Mike Napoli, John Jay, Fernando Rodney finally retires, Albert Pujols, Chris Yanya, Ichiro retires, Bartolo Colon, Brad Ziegler. Doesn't look like anyone else too exciting. Junior Guerrero, he's still pretty good. Oh, I guess not. Victor Martinez, the longtime Detroit Tiger. And Chase Utley, Hunter Pence. Is he that bad? I mean, he's at 72, I guess. And in free agency, Eric Ibar, Jose Bautista. Anyone else? Matt Garza, J.J. Hardy, Matt Holliday, Omar Infante, Jason Mote, Carlos Ruiz, Hudson Street. Is that it? That looks like it's about it. The other Chris Young, so both Chris Youngs retired. Hall of Fame will probably be Pujols and Ichiro, and it is. Pujols 8 hits shy of 3,000. He did get 3,000 in real life, and then Ichiro, who in real life just technically retired a couple days ago, and he's going to be in the Mariners front office. Both of them had excellent careers and very worthy of making the Hall of Fame. Alrighty, so first we have exclusive free agents. I guess these are the guys that are actually about to go in free agency, and the Tigers only have 3. Francisco Liriano, Gerard Saltalamacchia, and Brian Payne. No need to really bring any of them back. None of them really did anything special, except for about 2 home run game by Saltalamacchia and Franklin Perez's debut. But other than that, they're not really important. Brian Pena's probably not going to see any major league action really ever again, maybe. That sounds kind of sad. Staff, the real manager, Ron Gardenhire, apparently is not the manager in the game, which is kind of weird. So, new pitching coach is needed. Bobby Henley looks pretty good. He's only 41, so he's pretty young. Obviously, that's not young for a major league player, but he's not a major league player. So, I believe that's really it until free agency. I feel like there are more, contracts that need to be, gone after. I guess not. Accidentally had everything on auto, and the game re-signed Francisco Liriano. That's not a big deal. We can just trade him for a bag of carrots, or we can just keep him. Doesn't really matter. So I have made my 40-man roster. Pretty much everyone who is a somewhat important prospect or a somewhat important major leaguer I kept on the 40-man roster. Most of our draft picks, like Alonso, they're on the 40-man roster. I saw we had a bunch of top 50 prospects, so I'm kind of curious to see, but I guess they don't have top 50 prospects on until the beginning of the year. So I guess we'll check that when the beginning of the season comes. So 4 players who are arbitration eligible, I gave them arbitration. Actually, I didn't give Wilson arbitration. I actually gave him a 2-year contract. But other than that, I gave arbitration for Daniel Norris, Matt Boyd, and obviously Michael Fulmer. We can't let Michael Fulmer go anywhere since he is one of the main building blocks of our team. So a bunch of players in the organization needed to tender their contracts. I guess they're on renewable contracts. So I did that off camera because I figured that'd be really boring. So wherever it says contract renewable, I believe is for players. Yeah, wherever it says contract renewable, that's the players we went after. And where it's blank below their name, they're probably not going to be on the roster next year. So I believe next up is free agency. Yeah, in free agency we see some very good players: Bryce Harper, Andrew Miller, Paul Goldschmidt, Brian Dozier's at 94, Josh Donaldson, Manny Machado, Pedro Strop, Dallas Keuchel, Mike Moustakas, and some lower tier players down here. So we're probably not going to get anyone big. Keyword is probably. Who knows? Maybe. Let's see who we go after. These are the players the Tigers are going after at the moment. There are some Manny Machado rumors, but it is somewhat unlikely. They're going to hopefully give Nelson Cruz a 1-year, $7 million deal. None of these are accepted yet. This is just what the Tigers have offered. Good power bat for a year. He really does not age. His home run numbers just increasing. Last year, he had his career high of 47. He just gets better with age. Josh Harrison at second base. That could make sense. Trevor Rosenthal, the bullpen, is really not anything exciting. Drew Camp, a young catcher, probably will start in AAA. K-Rod, former Detroit Tiger for a couple of seasons. They want to bring him back, maybe retire as a Tiger, even though he's more of a Milwaukee Brewer. Neil McCain, only 20 years old, pretty talented prospect. Daniel Davis, because he's young and he has a sick beard. Same with James Brown, young, sick beard. And then the last guy is James who? Who is this guy? Well, it's James who. Yeah, so we're now going to simulate a couple days, see if any big name players are signed. Okay, Eduardo Jimenez, whoever that is. The Yankees signed Pedro Strop. They have a very solid bullpen. Dylan Betances, Aroldis Chapman. And now we get the former Chicago Cub. The Cubs, speaking of the Chicago Cubs, they replaced Pedro Strop with Andrew Miller. So if anything, that's more of an upgrade. So let's check what's going on with free agency. Bryce Harper, I guess, re-signed with the National because he's not here. No one has given Manny Machado an offer. Looks like the Indians might get Brian Dozier. Donaldson and Goldschmidt will most likely return to their teams. Nothing happening. Okay, roster size. Angels get Sean Doolittle. So there will be some minor trades. Probably won't be shown because they're irrelevant. Like some of the guys that are irrelevant down here, they're just going to be traded for nothing. So from what I can tell, it looks like a lot of players the Tigers went after signed. Like Nelson Cruz, Josh Harrison. It doesn't say that they signed, but Nelson Cruz, Josh Harrison, they're on the roster. Drew Camp, pretty much everyone signed. Neil McCain. Cruz and Harrison are the big names, especially Cruz. Obviously, Cruz and Harrison won't be here for a long haul. They are getting up there, but good players for one season. Alrighty, so let's keep simulating, see if anything exciting happens. The Indians get Paul Goldschmidt. That's a big deal. That's very big. Other than really Paul Goldschmidt and a few other moves, free agency was very uneventful. Looks like Brian Dozier will be going back to the Twins as well. Manny Machado re-signed with the Orioles. The Tigers actually did give Machado an offer for about 5 or 6 years in the $150 million to $200 million ballpark. Bryce Harper re-signed with the Nationals. So that's pretty much it for the excitement. The Braves actually get Brian Dozier, not the Twins. So Tigers already did that. Giants interested in offering a trade Miguel Cabrera for Chris Heston and Evan Longoria. Tigers going to say no. So now it's time for the Rule 5 draft and free agency. So the Tigers did offer Michael Fulmer arbitration. It also sounds like there is a good chance that Michael Fulmer will sign a 5-year contract worth $35 million with the team, which that contract will run out once he is eligible to become a free agent in 5 seasons. Also wishing Daniel Norris a happy birthday on April 25th. Happy birthday, Daniel Norris. Let's get to the next thing, which is, I believe, is for Rule 5 draft. I believe the next thing we have is for Rule 5 draft, but before we get to that, The White Sox trade Yoan Moncada, one of the top, he's not really a prospect anymore, but has a chance to be one of the best players in baseball, to the Reds, for Luis Castillo, who is a very good pitcher, as well as Dilson Herrera and Cole Brannen. Even though Castillo is good, the White Sox are dumb. And they're in our division, so I guess that's helpful. So now it's time for the Rule 5 draft. I guess the Tigers don't have a pick, which is really weird, but okay, I guess the Tigers are just not going to be picking. There are 29 teams in the major leagues. That is weird, but okay. So free agency is now over. We are now at spring training. The Tigers will make some trades now. But first we're going to look at the top 50 prospects. Currently number 1 goes to Vladimir Guerrero, who it looks like will be starting the season on the MLB roster, as well as a bunch of the top prospects. Bo Bichette is not, but he is number 2. Willie Calhoun is number 3, followed by Victor Robles and Gleyber Torres, rounding out the top 5. The top Tiger prospect is Alejandro Alonso at number 15. He's going to be starting probably on AAA. Fernando Tatis right behind him at 16. He'll probably start in AAA as well. Royce Lewis is on the Padres now. I guess that's for Fernando Tatis' replacement. Alex Faedo is at 29. He'll start in AAA as well. Any other Tigers? Matt Manning at 39. He'll be starting in AAA too. And that is it for Tigers. It'll probably say that the Tigers have like 7. Okay, no. I guess not. I thought it'd say like Alvaro Reyes and everyone was. So there are 40 players currently on the MLB roster. That's just for spring training, but obviously not everyone will stay. Like, for example, Alejandro Alonso will be in AAA, but he will play spring training. Probably won't play any spring training games because I don't really see a point. So players who are just drafted at first have no trade value. Like, Alonso has no trade value. Not that I want to trade him. I obviously don't have any plans of trading him, but he has, like, no trade value. We cheesed last year in the White Sox series. We got Bryant Bain, who had like 99 potential at starting pitcher for like nothing. And he ended up being a very good player in the series. So I tried to make this trade somewhat fair, but it isn't all the way fair. We're getting an outfield prospect, Enrique Nunez, from the New York Yankees. He looks very good. He doesn't have the best glove, but he can play multiple positions. He can play anywhere in the outfield, and he can also play first base, which I guess is good if Bobby Bradley needs a day off, or if he's hurt. Same thing with Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera's not going to be here in 7 years. He's going to keep regressing. So he's not going to be good forever. Which is why Bobby Bradley is going to be important. Nunez, he's a top 50 prospect right now too. So Francisco Liriano, Jacoby Jones, and Kyle Funkenhauser are being traded. Funkenhauser is pretty good, which is really the only good player in this trade. So the Yankees definitely got cheesed, but I gave them Kyle Funkenhauser, who's a solid pitcher. So I didn't cheese them all the way, but I still somewhat cheesed them. The Tigers and Yankees will be agreeing to another deal. The Tigers are going to be trading second baseman Dixon Machado, who was an everyday player last year. He's a solid player, but they did sign Josh Harrison, so Dixon Machado isn't really needed. Shortstop Sergio Alcantara, who I believe was in the JD Martinez trade. Solid prospect, but the Tigers have plenty of infield prospects, as well as starting pitcher Artie Lewicki, who probably will never make the majors. Maybe he will. And they will be getting Luis Medina in return, a 19-year-old starting pitcher. I guess this is sort of a Funkenhauser replacement in a way, but he's just 6 years younger. So the lineups and rotation have been made. Here is the lineup versus right-handers with DH, right-handers without DH, left-handers with DH, and left-handers without DH. And then the rotation is Fulmer, Norris, Franklin Perez, Matt Shoemaker, who the Tigers just signed because they needed a fifth man, and Matt Boyd. Brad Keller is the long reliever. The middle relievers are Fernandez, K-Rod, and Fieblar. No, I butchered that. Setup man will be Hicks, and the closer will be Alex Wilson. Hope you guys enjoy. Next episode will be opening day against the Twins.